Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Our first tip is a $5 tip from Score. He says, all due respect, the whole there's no games coming out thing sucks to hear when Rebirth and Metaphor were skipped. Rebirth and Metaphor were not skipped. I beg to differ, Score. Now listen, please, with all due respect, I'm not going to be insulting to you at all. What you said is not factually accurate. Not. At all. I played both games. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I played for 21 hours. I checked the other day. I played 21 hours of it. All right? And after 21 hours, people stopped showing up to the streams and stopped supporting them. I had a stream of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth where we couldn't even bring in 150 viewers, and I made $10. And it was a 3-hour gameplay segment. I tried. Really, I did. People refused to show up for RPGs. Now you're talking about Metaphor. I love Metaphor. To me, out of all the games I played this year, Metaphor is my RPG of the year. I'm serious. The 12 hours I played of Metaphor were a delight. I loved the gameplay. I loved the art style. The story was getting incredibly interesting. Everything in the game was good. I think I had one complaint, and that was that the optional dungeon was too tough. And it's obviously it's meant that you come back and do it later or whatever. But outside of that, I thought Metaphor was absolutely, positively outstanding. Okay? Seriously. And I played it for 12 hours, the demo. So basically, I played a good first chunk of it through the intro. By the last stream of Metaphor, again, I couldn't hold 200 viewers. I didn't even get $50 in support. What do you want me to do? I have to play stuff that people want to see and are willing to show up, watch, and support. Because this is my job. I know it's confusing because gaming in general is entertainment. And it's meant to be something you do as a hobby or relaxation. For me, it is, but it's also my job. I have to do things that people want to see because it's my work. Things that people are willing to pay for so that I can make a living. People will not show up, support, and pay for RPGs right now. I don't know what changed there because they used to, but now they don't. My attendance has been very low, and the support has been very low every time I've touched an RPG this year. And it's every RPG, too, just for the record. Like a Dragon, Final Fantasy VII, Dragon's Dogma, Metaphor, now Veilguard. Like, every RPG I've attempted to play in 2024 has had the same issue. So, you can try to speculate what the issue is. I've already tried that. But I can't make people show up. People show up for action-based games like Call of Duty or Bloodborne or Street Fighter 6, right? They do. They even show up for my podcast today. We have 372 people on the show. We have, I think, around 30 people over on Kick. Oh, almost 40 people over on Kick. So we have over 400 viewers just for my podcast, right? and so obviously it's not me. People are here to hang out with me and have a good time. But it seems the moment I boot up an RPG, people go to sleep. And that's sad. It really is. It is. And here's the thing. If people were more apt to support, for example, take a look at what happened with Baldur's Gate 3. With Baldur's Gate 3, for something like 4 months, I played the game. Over 200 hours, right? It was one of the longest playthroughs I've ever done. Views were down. Ad revenue was way down. But some people did show up and actually support the playthrough, so I kept playing it. Okay? It hurt the channel, though. It really did. Me playing that game as long as I did literally hurt this channel. It was a big shot, like, boom. Loss of views, loss of attention for like 3 months. And then I started bringing back action-based games, and people came back again. And it was a slow build back. It really was. But if more people were apt to at least support the RPGs, then I would consider playing them, even with low attendance and low views. Because that's another thing. The videos don't even get views. Right now I'm playing a Veilguard. The videos don't even get 300 views. So it's got to come, it's a business as well as a hobby, but it's a business. It's what's meant to pay my bills. I have to play things people want. When people are not showing up and not actively supporting RPGs, it means that's not what you want. I'm sorry. I'm just being matter of fact here, but that's the case. So, if, for example, people were like, yeah, well, if you keep playing Veilguard, we'll make sure you hit your support goal every stream, then I would keep playing it. Or same thing with, with Metaphor. If people had said, yeah, you're a support goal, don't worry. I didn't. I played Metaphor. It killed the streak. So, I'm not sure what else to say. I didn't not play the games or skip them. I did play them. They failed. I can't make certain genres of game be more popular with my general viewing audience. I just can't. I don't know what else to say. If people are showing up for certain games and not others, if people show up for the podcast, if people show up for the politics show, but they're not showing up for RPGs, I can't twist their arm and make them show up and support. Okay? And I know it's sad because it's an entire genre, and I like the genre. It's one of my favorites. But I can't. This is gaming culture right now, essentially. You understand? Culture's changing. And in general, what's happening is these RPGs are becoming more niche. They are. Why? Because there's too many. It used to be 1 or 2 RPGs a year. Okay, great. Everyone get on board. We love these RPGs. Now there's 17 in a year. So now everyone goes and plays the one that they like, and now no one can agree on what's their favorite, and now they get less attention and less support, and no one cares about them anymore. It's the same thing that would happen if there were too many first-person shooters, if there were too many fighting games. It's the same. And that's happened before, too. Do you remember early on in my time as a YouTuber, at one point there was like 10 to 12 FPS games within a year. And what would happen is they would all kill each other, and then ultimately only Call of Duty would come out on top because no one could remember the others. There was just too many. Now there's no competition for Call of Duty. It's literally the only FPS in a year. So it's kind of the flip side now. But this is not the first time this has happened in the industry. I don't know if it's just game developers find it easier to develop RPGs, so they're pumping them out at a more rapid pace or something. I don't know. But there's just too many. If we had a Baldur's Gate 3 this year, I'd play it. There's no Baldur's Gate 3 this year. You should play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I did, it failed. Oh, you should play Metaphor. I did, it failed. Like, what do you want me to do? It's not that I didn't play them. I'm playing Veilguard right now. Can't get viewers for it. Don't know what to say, guys. Okay. Let's see here. Someone named Richard Burnell tipped $1 and said cry. About what? Cry about what? I don't have anything to cry about. I'm good. You cry in 2 cases. Actually, you cry in 3 cases. If you're really upset and sad, if you're really happy, or if you're in pain. Well, I'm not very upset and sad. I'm good. I'm happy, but I'm not like overwhelming, overjoyed, and I'm certainly not in pain. So, see, Zaneed made a point. Zaneed says, people like turn-based RPGs. Sadly, most people don't like watching them. And, I hate to say it, that's different than how it used to be. I used to be able to play any kind of game and people would show up. Now it seems like people want certain genres of game and then they want me to do other kinds of content. Again, it's not that there's no demand and no interest. It's that the interest is just not for RPGs this year. That's it. That's the one genre that's failed. Like, I've done think about it. I played Nintendo World Championships. That worked. Seriously. I played both retro and new fighting games. Both worked. I played a good variety of stuff this year. I really have. Everything worked but RPGs. RPGs is the one common factor of failure for some reason. Okay.
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop.
So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.